So this fight has a lot of parts to it, but once you understand it, it's going to be pretty damn easy for you to wrap your head around what's happening here. So this is the entire arena. Uh, there are going to be portals here. These aren't actually warlock gates. There's portals that we use Rescue Wraps for when we go to Intermission 1, and we split into two groups, and there's going to be ads on each outside pillar, and we'll cover that in a second. For Phase 1, there is a lot going on. There are images of this dragon guy around the outside of the room. If you are running up against them, they will just execute one shot you. You will be dead. So you are never playing on the outside of the room for Phase 1. They will disappear from time to time, so there will be times where you can go to the outside of the room, but for the most part, especially on Heroic, just never go to the outside of the room. Phase 1 revolves around this debuff, which is called Decree Oathbound. You will all start with 3 stacks of this. The tank mechanic is how you get rid of this. So the tank mechanic is random in the order of which it goes in. So it can start with a Vanquish into a second Vanquish, which is the frontal. That is not a soak. And then it can go Conquer, which is the group soak, which is just this purple circle. It can also do it the exact opposite way, where it goes Conquer first into another Conquer into a double Vanquish. It can also do one Conquer, one Vanquish, one Conquer, one Vanquish. There is no rhyme of reason or any sort of standardization for like how this tank mechanic works in terms of what comes out first, what comes out last. So it's going to be a lot of the tanks figuring out for the first few pulls the cadence of it all. This Vanquish goes off very, very, very quickly, but this Conquer Soak goes off after like 5 seconds. So you'll have plenty of time to get in. And yeah, so the way this will work, PTR testing for Heroic is not something you should watch for how to do this mechanic because it was bugged for half the time and it just wasn't doing enough damage. If you soak 2 of these circles back to back, it does 300% extra damage on the second soak. So you don't want to do that. So let's say this tank gets the Conquer on them. They will put it outside. Group 1 will step in. When it goes off, it is a knock up in the air. So you will get knocked up in the air. So let's say that there's a second Conquer that happens immediately after. So then this tank would go over here, Group 2 would step in. And then obviously tanks just point their Vanquish off into Narnia, so the tank doesn't have to worry about it. Every time you get hit by one of these Conquers, it will take 1 stack of this away from you. So if you're doing your math, you have to do this 3 times successfully in order to get to the next phase. If you have even 1 stack of this left over on you, you get MC'd and you cannot be rezzed. You're just dead the rest of the fight. Very, very punishing. So if there's one thing that everyone needs to absolutely know how to do in Phase 1, it's the movement of getting into this circle and the tanks putting it in the correct spot for the groups. I assume the way we're going to do it is there's either going to be 1 or 2 markers, and that's just the marker where the soak is going to go, and it's your job to be on that marker when it's your turn to soak. The only other thing that happens is this Fractal Claw, which is essentially these images do a claw debuff on you, and when you just run it to the out, like not to the outside of the room, but away from the center of the room, and when it goes off, it just pulls you as if like a claw is grabbing you and stretching you across the room. I think there's also like these little beam things that occur across the room that are super, super small. On Mythic, they were super annoying, but they're essentially these slow-moving beams that just very slowly make their way across the room. All right, that's Phase 1. Any questions? Cool.
Can you do multiple soaks, like if I glide or something like that, or like?
You can't do 2 soaks back to back. Maybe if you immunity, but if you immunity, I do not know if it's going to get rid of one of your stacks. I did not see that. So Phase 2 is where things get a little. I'd say Phase 2 is easier than Phase 1. His dragon is going to come down. Those images on the outside of the room now go away, and he's essentially going to be riding his dragon. So 2 target cleave classes are going to have a fun time in Phase 2. The only real thing that's happening is there's going to be these giant blue circles that get that are debuffs that go on people. You have to run them to the outside of the room. And after they blow up, they're going to leave behind these little portals. And these portals will have little light blue lines coming out of them. Those are the beams, excuse me, those are beams that are going to shoot out of the teleporters when the dragon boss does his frontal beam. So when he does his frontal beam, which is the same size of these teleporters, maybe a little bit larger, all of these teleporters will start shooting their own beams too. The bosses is does not move, so it stays right here. But these ones rotate. Okay. Um, the only thing that I cannot figure out from watching videos is the direction in which they move in. The only thing that I've noticed is it seems like they want to rotate so that they go to the center of the room. So I can't really do this with this, but essentially they just want to keep rotating to the center of the room like that. So whatever is the shortest distance for them to get through the center of the room is the way they want to move in. So for those of you that did Mythic Kill Jaden, it's basically find the safe spot from all of these beams and survive. If you get hit by a beam, it does a lot of damage to you, and then it also does raid-wide damage to everyone because you got hit, equal to the amount of damage that you took from getting hit. And that's phase 2. There's also still that claw thing that happens, and those little beams that shoot across the room. But that's it. So, any questions about phase 2?
Do we know who's prio target in P2? Or not yet?
Not yet, and we'll talk about that
Okay.
when we get to the second intermission because I'm kind of
Okay.
torn. Okay, so for intermission, there's going to be 2 groups split, and you will take your Resha Rat portals to each side. Both groups will get the same ads. The only difference is one has Nexus Prince Kyvor and the other one has Nexus Prince Zevus, but they do the exact same abilities, so it might as well just be the same mob. Each side will get 1 Titan. The biggest thing of the Titan is he does a cast that's a self-destruct, and if you don't kill him before he self-destructs, it's a raid wipe. That's kind of about it. This Nexus Prince guy just does an interruptible cast. He also does a like intermission spinning beam, kind of like Gallywix to start the fight on Mythic. The only difference is instead of like 4 quadrants, there's 3 quadrants. And then there's also 5 of these Assassin Reaper thingies that just try to do like a Shadow Step assassination rogue type shit to you. They are fully CCable, so you can stun, you can grip, you can do whatever. And essentially, the goal is going to be just lock these guys down so that they can't do any damage to the raid. Once all of your ads are dead, you just come back to the center platform. So intermission 2, and this is kind of what Fox was getting to, is the boss is immune, and he is starting to suck the soul out of the dragon. In doing so, this dragon takes either 100 or 200% increased damage. Originally, it was 200%, but I heard somewhere that it might only be 100% now. I am curious if this is going to be the lust. If this isn't the lust, then the end of the fight will be the lust. And essentially, we have to try to kill this dragon or get it to as low HP as possible before he finishes this cast. It's a 30-second long cast, so that tells you, like, we essentially get a full lust time of doing damage into this guy. Whatever health is left over goes into the boss. So that's why I'm curious if this is going to be a lust angle. That's it for that intermission. He also does like quadrant area of denial stuff that you just have to step out of, but that's going to be pretty obvious what to do. Phase 3, this is another Kaiveza mechanic. You're going to get targeted with circles that you have to drop on the outside of the room. Once these go off, it's just a Kaiveza gravity suck to the middle, as long as we place these correctly. So obviously, if we were to put like 3 on one side of the room, then we're all getting sucked in this direction, right? So we want to literally play it like Kaiveza and just drop them into like 5 separate areas of the room. There will probably be markers for this, and hopefully a weak that says you're going to this marker if you get this debuff. And yeah, that's it for that. Once that goes off, they will turn into these giant star things that will do area of denial, which every pulse will grow and grow and grow and grow. This is literally the second intermission of Silken Court all over again. Instead of just, 3, it's going to be 5. You just have to dodge. And then to get rid of these, there's going to be another Kaiveza mechanic It's like the beams that we would have to do to erase the masks off Kaiveza, except it's going to be these teal beams, and you have to get behind the star. And when you do, and this goes off, it will completely eradicate the star. So we will remove these stars from the fight. If you go in front, it will not go through you. So you have to go behind. So melee people, enjoy.
Yay.
And yeah. And then we essentially do this as many times as we need to until the boss dies. And that's the entire fight. Any questions? Okay. As far as I'm aware, there are 0 kill pulls for this. So yeah. So everyone has 3 stacks of that Decree Oathbound right now. This is the first Conquer soak, so this would be like a group 1 soak. Knockup. This is the frontal. Into another frontal. And then the next one's definitely going to be Conquer. Now, there again, like I said earlier, this is PTR and it wasn't doing enough damage, so you could double soak back to back. In live, it will not be this way. There will be a group 1 and a group 2.
Claws behind us.
So this is going to be the claws.
First set.
Just take these out of the group.
Second set, everyone else go.
And now we're going to repeat the tank hits. Oh, this banishment is just a dot. It just does damage.
One from our left.
Crazy. Those are the images on the outside of the room. Again, if you get close to them, they will just claw you and one-shot you. Those are the beams. Just dodge these beams.
Stack up. From our right. Watch your health.
And this is it. So I'll let you guys see. He gets the claw debuff here. And you can see how it actually like pulls him. It is area of denial, but if you notice when his go off, others from the first set are going to start disappearing. And then after this set goes off, the last set of the first set are going to start disappearing. So it's only temporary area of denial. And standing in it does do damage. So they'll do one more tank mechanic here, and then they will go to phase 2, which is he's getting the dragon out. So these images on the outside of the room are going to go away. These are the circles I was talking about, dropping these circles on the outside of the room, and they're going to be the teleporters. And then he doesn't give us a good camera angle here, but you will see that there's going to be light blue lines that are coming out of these portals that they just dropped. And those are the direction in which the, when the boss does his breath here, that the breath is going to shoot. And I'm definitely wrong about them wanting to go to the center of the room. But they also definitely don't all go clockwise or counterclockwise. So that's an end of phase 2. We will go to the other side now. That's just a kick. And then these Reapers will spawn along with this Titan. And yeah, we are just killing everything. Kicking and killing. The cast is like 5-6 seconds long, so there isn't need for an instant kick. This is the Gallywix rotating beam thing I was talking about. Just don't die to this.
Yeah, we're almost done.
And this Titan dies before it does self-destruct. And you just Reshi wraps back over.
Boss moves before you get there, by the way, tank, whoever has it.
And then phase 2 will repeat. And this is almost certainly not going to happen this way. He basically does 30 seconds of doing no mechanics. So, again, we'll drop these.
That's, I think.
And then these are the beams.
Big dragon dam. And she faced at 35.
And now we're going into the second intermission. So the boss is completely immune here. And this is the damage amp part of the fight.
The bugged.
So essentially nothing going on here. Oh, and PTR, if you watch any of these videos, the boss would stop the intermission when the dragon hit 40% health. So even though there's like 10 seconds left on his cast, he just ends it early.
There you go, boss at 50. Maybe that's the thing. The boss just can't go below 50.
So these are the Kai'Veza gravity circles. And as soon as they go off, they'll get sucked in the center. Bang. And they're going to start rotating around the room, and now they become stars, and now we're into the Silken Court, phase, or Intermission 2 mechanic of just dodging.
You don't need to run behind it considerable here. You're about to get it. Just point it out.
Just try to hit a thing. There's a lot towards X.
You see these blue lines coming out right now? Those are the blue lines you have to take behind the star to try to break them. It's obviously incredibly difficult because you have to dodge these rings as well.
Good job. Good job.
And you see that star to his left actually got detonated here. His raid frames are going to block it, but you can see it's gone. And then we're going to get one more set of those blue lines.
More stars coming.
I think I hold it for the next Galactic Smash, or no?
Now it's Star Killer again.
Oh.
Yeah, clear the rest. Clear the rest.
Bang.
Now you taunt.
Just like that.
More stars.
And then we're going to get more Kai'Veza gravity circles. And repeat.
Spread out evenly if you can.
Same thing all over again. The only thing I'm not certain of is if the existing stars that are still rotating around the room, if they help with the suck-in.
Select tactics.
So that's something we're going to have to watch out for. Yeah, that's the entire fight. Any questions? Okay. Well,
Yeah, sorry, I was muted.
go for it.
So that last thing, are you like not supposed to take that to the very edge then? Because it makes it harder to break with the arrow that comes out.
It will kill you if you do not go behind the star.
Well, I'm saying like the star itself, like drop the star closer to the middle.
Oh,
so you can make it easier to get behind the star in the second.
Yes. So what I think we should do, I assume what you're saying is like you don't want to drop these out here, right? You don't.
Yeah, because that's what it looks like they're doing on video, and then it looks impossible to
Yeah.
find them.
Well, so like
Yeah,
let's-
like a mile away.
So let's say like you drop this debuff out here to begin with. You literally give 0 room for anyone to get behind it now, right?
Right.
So that's what you're saying is 100% correct. You do not want to be doing it that way. What I think we should be doing is, you see how there's like 1, 2, 3 different rings of this boss arena? I think it'd be like you drop your first ones, or maybe all of them on heroic, inside this first ring. Because there's no real reason for take them super far on the outside of the room. It also gives you, as you're doing like this growing ring mechanic, all of the room from here to the outside of the room to get behind it. So, you know, if one spot isn't safe here, well then this back spot definitely still is, and you have plenty of room to work with to make sure you kill the star. So yes, what you're saying is 100% correct.
It looked like in the video they were able to break it without being
Yeah,
behind it.
I
no?
think I was wrong about that, but it definitely will kill them.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find that one. It's this one right here. I'm trying to see who it's on.
Like they just aim them, no?
Yeah, you just aim them, but it's on whoever this red dude is right here.
The guy behind the Demon Hunter, yeah.
I want to say it's the monk, maybe? Boo Boo Monk, maybe? And he's just dead. So yes, you can break them by going in front, but you're dead. So
I'm curious. They
Don't do that
I
way.
think they did it again or on the second set. I don't know if they died though.
this is a paladin.
Clear the rest.
It looked like it went on the tank there. Yeah, that's a tank. That's the only
Yeah,
paladin.
it was,
Okay, here
he
you
was
go. This is
fine, but they do take a lot of damage.
This is Huya or Data Lock right here.
Rest. Clear the rest.
Huya. Okay, he's just dead.
Yeah,
It actually
so the
looks
tank
like
can do it.
Clear the rest.
it actually looks like the line didn't kill him. It's the stars exploding finished him off. So you may be able to do this by standing
like,
in
a
front of the
defensive?
star, but you need to have a defensive.
Yeah.
Which weak one heroic might be the easier
More stars.
choice. So
I was about to say because the tank, fuck it, it didn't even do like half of his health for him
Yeah.
doing it.
yeah, but it also just shows you that like no one is immune from getting that mechanic. Everybody in the raid needs to know how to deal with that mechanic. All right,